Ironing. An occupation invented by the devil.
Stay fat. Ho ho ho! Welcome to the game dungeon. Are you ready to be normal? Yeah, me neither, but we'll give it a try for Normality, a 3D point-and-click adventure game. This is one that's always intrigued me. I mean, look at the cover. Because no one should have a thought of their own. Yeah, I'm in. Huh. This is an awfully film noir start to things.
I began to learn the shady history of Neutropolis shortly after my week-long holiday in the Blue Pens. Most events happened before my time, but I was soon to get swept up in the events which had transformed this radical, free-thinking utopia into the polluted pit of boredom it is today.
Ah, so this is a utopia turned dystopia. Yeah, that seems to be an ongoing problem. Even if we had utopia tomorrow, I think it would get corrupted and get dismantled like this over time.
I was spending a little quality time, walking a couple blocks and whistling a particularly annoying tune I had composed. Suddenly, from out of the smog...
Down on the ground! Stop resisting! Well, this is Kent Knutson, our protagonist. And I'm kind of on the fence if he should be busted for singing an annoying song in the street or not.
I spent 7 lousy days in a Spartan blue box, basically for being too happy.
I've mentioned before that I've done security guard work in the past, so I've heard some really bad songs hundreds of times from closed-circuit store audio on loop. So if he was whistling one of those songs, yeah, I might arrest him too. I think 7 days is too harsh though. They should treat him more like a drunk tank and just let him sleep it off. Well, after a mystery note from some revolutionary, I guess, I have some thoughts on that, but they can wait. We get kicked back to our apartment on parole.
That TV is on 24 hours a day. I'm coming in after you.
Oh, that sucks. He has to keep the TV on 24/7 or he goes back to prison. Okay, yeah, this is barbarism. We're gonna have to firebomb a police station or something. This should have been a shooter, not an adventure game. So I guess let's look around the apartment and see if we can find something to make a bomb. What we need is some gasoline. Whoa, okay. Yeah, this is from '96, so once again we're back to a time before 3D game controls got standardized, and these are a little rough. I mean, they're not horrible, I've seen worse than this, but they do that thing where moving the mouse up moves you forward. That was a concept floating around in some games during this time. There's no sidestepping, but it does have mouse looking, but only if you hold down both the left and right mouse buttons at the same time. And I found out you should click the left mouse button first. Otherwise it flashes for half a second sometimes if you start with the right. And wow, I am impressed by this apartment. The drip onto some sort of electrical box, his pillow, the footprints on the wall, a lot of cracks, mold just everywhere.
It's one of the air conditioning ducts that pipe dry, stale air around the building.
Yeah, I think that's more than stale air.
Hey, you in there. Listen to that TV, or you'll get another week in the pen.
Ah, the parole officer's screaming at you to turn on the TV. Some of this is obviously Kent's touch, clearly a creative guy. Some of it might be Kent, or it might be the previous residents. Hard to say. Oh, water damage. Nice.
It's not kidding. The tap water here is...
Turn that TV right back on, you hear? I'll be in if you don't. Stay normal.
Yeah, a lot of green water. Oh, let's open the fridge. You know, there's a lot of indie games now where they don't have textures, and instead everything is just a flat color with lighting. Well, this is what we're missing when they do that. Flat colors can never give us such a rich portrayal of this refrigerator. Kent is a frigging savage. He can't even open it, it's jammed. I'd like to remind everyone, Kent wasn't arrested in the middle of making dinner and just didn't have a chance to clean this up. He was out walking on the street. So whenever this happened, Kent decided, shit happens. I'll deal with this later. And that was that. Yeah, this apartment is amazing. I think this is officially the nastiest apartment I've ever seen in a game. Now you might be thinking, well, what about the apartment in Bad Mojo? Well, yes, there are definitely spots as bad in Bad Mojo, but I think it would clean up a lot better than Kent's place. See, Kent's apartment has a lot of structural damage. There's bad air or bad liquid in the walls. You're really not cleaning that up. I saw a video a while back of someone cleaning up an apartment where a chain smoker had been living, and I'm actually not even sure if this is the video, but it's really similar if it's not. And yeah, he's doing a Herculean effort trying to clean this, and to his credit, he makes it look better. It looks a lot better after cleaning this. See? A before and after. Good as new, right? Wrong. I guarantee you would not want to sleep in that apartment. You would be choking in there. There's gonna be tar in the walls, the ceiling. It's never really coming out. I don't think Kent's a smoker, but his place has problems just as deep. Yeah, look at that. There's a growth or something inside the walls that the landlord probably painted over. Oh, yeah, the bathroom. Beautiful. There is so much mold in here. I'm practically coughing recording this. A shark poon. What's the difference between that and a harpoon? This is like when archaeologists open up a tomb and toxic gas starts hissing out. Yeah, just puke onto the carpet. Nobody will notice.
Ugh! There's still a horrible stench coming up from that hole in the bath.
This is a nightmare.
Turn that
Oh my
TV
God.
on, mister. You're only making it worse for yourself. Do you want to go back to the pen?
I tried turning it off once. The room steamed up for a week.
That fan is the only reason you're not dead, Kent. Can I clog it with my pillow? No. Well, I guess we better turn on the TV to get the parole officer to stop screaming. Yeah, let's crack a window. Jesus.
Oh man, that TV turned itself off again. I just gotta find a way to keep it on.
Oh, you have to babysit the TV too on top of everything. So this really is a level of hell. Well, I will say the level of detail here is amazing. I found that now we can do almost anything with graphics. Higher texture fidelity and polygon count don't do a lot for me. But details to the environment really help draw me in. And Normality is delivering in spades on that front. Well, let's get out of here. Nothing good is going to happen in our lives staying in this apartment. Huh, that face looks familiar. Oh, is this guy living on the fire escape? Wow, that never occurred to me. You know, in Soylent Green, population and homelessness are through the roof, so everybody is sleeping in hallways everywhere. But fire escapes could be virgin territory for real estate. Well, he's in the right place squatting out here. Kent's sure as hell not gonna call the cops on him.
Hi there. Can you give me a lift down to the street, old man?
Hey, less of the old prefix, please. Name's Di. If I were to take you down, what will you do in return?
Oh, okay. So this isn't a fire escape. He's living out of a scissor lift or something, and he's hustling me to give him something before he'll take me down.
Copy, milk, quickly. There's a good boy.
All right, I guess we're going back to the apartment. Yeah, this is gonna be some rough coffee. I'm not sure what would stain the kettle green like this. Maybe algae? I mean, it's not copper corrosion, it's the wrong shade for that. Oh, but whoops, that's not enough. He wants milk in his coffee too. Yeah, I appreciate the insidious mayhem present in a lot of old adventure games. They often wouldn't pull their punches.
Well, I don't suppose it wouldn't hurt that much. The strong abrasive edge of the coffee will probably mask the chalky aftertaste of the paint. At least it looks like milk.
You don't suppose drinking paint would hurt much. Thanks for the tip, Dr. Knudsen.
Here you go, Di. Sorry about the delay.
Hey, thank you, Sonny. I'll have you down in no time. Say, this coffee tastes a little, unique.
Yeah, it has a special secret ingredient left to me by the previous occupiers of my apartment.
Well, that's a secret you might want to let me in on one of these days.
Di?
Yes?
Let's change the topic. How about the weather?
Why is every day so gray? The air quality is very poor today.
It's been like this for nearly 30 years. Since just before I began my new life in this cradle. I haven't seen the sun for decades. It used to cheer up men, women, cats, dogs, and plants. It all seemed a lot happier back then.
The sun? What is that?
Yeah, what's
I
the
think my
sun?
mom mentioned it once before she threw me out for cutting class and chilling out all the time.
Didn't you pay attention in modern history classes? The sun is a huge slow-motion nuclear explosion in space, shedding warmth on the people of our planet.
You say the sun sends warmth? I don't see it anywhere, you old dreamer.
Dreamer, how dare you?
Alright, this is great. I've set 1 foot outside my apartment and I'm already getting into an argument with the locals as to whether the sun exists or not. This is exactly what I want to see in games. This game gets it. And the coffee was good enough for him to let us down. Oh, I didn't notice that earlier. Is he keeping track of his pigeon kills like old fighter pilots? There's that guy again. Okay, this was driving me crazy since he looks so familiar. I was convinced I had seen him somewhere before. If I'm not having a Mandela effect moment. At first I thought, oh, is this the advisor on the Super Nintendo version of SimCity? No, he looks different. Where the hell have I seen him before? Well, this took me a while, but I think I figured it out. I think my brain was merging 2 other game characters together. One is Dr. Brain from the Dr. Brain games. He has a little bit of that look. And the other one, I can't believe I remembered this. Whoever this is on the cover of Leisure Suit Larry 5. Ironically, I've never even played 5. I'm only up to 3. But I've seen that cover a bunch before in stores. So I had false memories implanted of this guy existing elsewhere. Assuming I'm not forgetting someone. If you think I'm wrong and do recognize this face from elsewhere, feel free to chime in. He kind of has Dr. Forrester from Mystery Science Theater 3000 crossed with Sigmund Freud energy. Oh, and the same goes for if you can think of another game apartment worse than Kent's. Though it can't be worse just because somebody was murdered there or something. I'm talking how it looks under normal living conditions for the resident. Well, onto the street. It would be too much to hope for having a full 3D open world in the city like this for a game this old. After all, they can't all be quarantine. But this is still pretty great. I am kind of wishing this wasn't software 3D though. It can be kind of rough reading things with the point filtering.
This cinema's been closed all my life.
Oh, so this is just a relic then. Everything is shut down. The park's closed.
We're not allowed to go into the park. Paul missed Alexa's orders.
I'm guessing Paul is that guy I was trying to identify.
I think this is the only shop in the street that's still doing business.
So this is just a hollowed out part of town. There's a lot of places in the Rust Belt like this. Hardware store. Ah.
There's some cool gear in this shop. Unfortunately, it closed down last month. You can catch all sorts of diseases doing that.
Oh, so Kent has standards. Interesting. Yeah, that's another thing I like, is that this game isn't black and white. The current regime is obviously oppressive, but Kent isn't making a strong case that he deserves much better. He's leaving beans splattered on the wall and releasing toxic gas in the bathroom by using his shark poon on the bathtub. Why the hell was he spearfishing in the bathtub in the first place? So the current system is failing people with housing like this, but if someone is going to live here, it should be Kent. Because he's just going to bring down the property value of wherever he lives anyway. Kent comes across like a stoner, but with more energy. No joke, looking at the covers, I feel like the only thing that's missing is him wearing a tie-dye t-shirt with a pot leaf on it. Now, I don't think Kent does drugs, but he's practically there. Well, wait, I'm stereotyping. Maybe he just looks like that. Actually, this takes place in the future. He's kind of reminiscent of the Postal Dude's look. I could easily see Kent being the Postal Dude's progeny.
It's very relaxing watching this all day. Ooh, yeah, wow.
Okay, never mind. Kent would absolutely smoke weed if he could.
Oh, too loud. I'm gonna build deluge for my speakers if I ever see them. Great song, though. Well, my car's got no wheels, but I'm still running.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. Well, to Kent's credit, even though he lives in filth and is doing nothing with his life, I don't see him as hopeless. All my instincts tell me he could be a successful artist or musician. Kent is 100% a person that would spend all day, every day, just practicing on an instrument, not even thinking about it. In a way, that makes him the prime casualty of a regime trying to enforce normality. Oh, and even though we snuck outside, we can actually head back inside to the other side of the apartment. Huh, that's interesting. It's a giant mouse bot or something watching the door. Well, who was that shouting at us then?
These must be the things that were shouting those orders earlier. Weird. If I so much as touch that door, that Neanderthal will jump out here and kick my butt.
Okay, I get it. It was the mousebot shouting at you to turn on your TV, but your neighbor will also shout at you and kick your ass if you bother him. Alright, I was confused there. Well, there was a lead earlier for finding a job as a furniture tester, and that's actually what the mysterious note was saying for you to do at the start. So I guess let's head to the factory to get a job. This is Chad's world. We just live in it. And at the factory, I actually solved the puzzle automatically without realizing it. The receptionist won't let you in because you're not fat enough to be a furniture tester. But earlier, just looking through the apartment, I apparently put on a t-shirt saying I am fat, and was wearing it this whole time. And yep, that's enough to satisfy the clerk. And yes, this is an omen of the quality of puzzles ahead of us. You'd think Kent would have had to stuff the pillow under his shirt to at least sell it more, but whatever. I do like how fascinated Kent is by the coffee maker in the waiting room.
This green button must be the creature's eye. I think the sculpture must be a metaphor for jealousy or something. I've never seen such an evocative and compelling rendering. The green eye, the boiling rage, it all adds up to one of the most brilliantly observed and executed things I have ever seen.
In a sense, he's almost like a caveman discovering the marvels of the modern world. I mean, this is an exotic coffee maker, but you'd think he would be more familiar with such things. I suppose he is ignorant for dropping out of school and having grown up entirely in the dystopia, not knowing the before times. So every day is a discovery, I guess. Watch out, Cat, he's gonna eat you. Actually, he doesn't. Blob here is the manager who you'd think would give you an orientation, but he mostly just chats. Also, I guess this was meant to be a simple idling animation, but it looks like he just keeps grabbing his crotch over and over. It goes on a while, then we're just sort of dumped here. What's that sound? Oh my god, why do they have to do this? This is worse than the parole officer telling me to turn on the TV every 20 seconds.
Nice little radio. The tuning knob's missing though. It looks like it's opera or nothing.
Ah, opera. I'm not cultured enough to appreciate it. Well, it turns out some of the employees are on strike. They discovered some gadgets that were being added to the furniture that added surveillance to everyone and sends the data back. Management didn't want them knowing that, so now they're trying to replace them with robots so they don't have to explain anything and to save money.
A timing gadget or something. Collected information relating to how long people sat on their servers for. They reckon it's sensitive, so they're gonna replace us all with more precise droids.
That's, extremely forward-thinking for a game from '96. Why is someone's underwear pinned to the bulletin board?
That's disgusting.
Lard. Well, I tried, but I got stuck here and had to look up some hints, and it's just as well I did. I did figure out that you should use the electronics from the radio on the spare motorized bed. Yeah, it uses wireless power. That's been a dream of some industries for a while, though I wouldn't trust it to not give you cancer. But what now? I'm just wandering around. Well, what I should have done was first crawl into the ventilation shaft, and to be fair, that's on me. I tried to earlier, but didn't realize you need to be standing on the toilet first. I've grown soft from adventure games that simply let you click on what you want to interact with, and then interact with it. From there, you hang down Mission Impossible style to grab the debris in the security case. Nice reach. Then you dump the debris on this bed. Hey, what is this? What? Yeah. I'd like to point out this guard was posted several rooms away, so this is the route he must have come running down to get here once his spider sense detected I was dumping some boards on a bed. Then you take the belt from the ventilation shaft and attach it to the fire extinguisher to just hose the place at random. Then use the control panel to finally ride the conveyor belt into the machinery. Of course! Why didn't I think of that? Now, you might think I'm leaving out some context where they explain the logic behind this, but no, I don't think I am. The game is acting like this is all self-explanatory.
Who in hell are you? Hold it right there, Norm Spy. There are 50 trained revolutionaries pointing their guns at your head right now.
Uh-oh. So this is the Resistance. It might just be her from the looks of it. Though she knows Die from earlier. Apparently he's part of it too. She wants you to go sabotage a city statue and a TV station. Also, I can't tell what the hell any of this is. Like if those are cutouts or dead bodies or what. The camera is completely locked here and I can't move. I also don't know what that hopping thing is in the corner. It looks like one of those hopping balls, except I guess it's alive. I'm very confused. The only thing I'm sure of is she lives in trash, so maybe Kent can relate. Oh, and you may have noticed the music was a little too loud. I keep trying to tweak it, but it's like some instruments are 5 times louder than others. So my apologies in advance if things get drowned out. Now the game has music volume control, but I'm using MT32 emulation. And listen to what happens when I turn it down. Yeah, the only way to adjust the music volume was to change the config for the emulated environment I was using. Oh, and I have to point this out. I'm running this on emulated Windows 98. I didn't have to since this works on DOS also, but I wasn't sure if it would be like Baldi's where the better version is on Windows. But look at this. I haven't been using this installed for anything besides running Normality. So naturally, at one point, it wouldn't launch due to an IRQ error. I didn't change a damn thing. It just happened on its own. In the past, I would get gaslit over this sort of thing, thinking I broke something. But this time, I know I didn't change anything. Windows changed itself. Well, more of the map opens up and you can choose where to go. I tried the TV station, but it's blocked by a bouncer. I can't even use the shark poon on him. The mall is a different story, though it's half dead. Willie the Welk says welcome. Oh look, Toys R Us is shut down. And the butcher has a sign saying it can't keep everything in stock. Man, this game is so on point.
I hate this place. I'd rather be anywhere else in the whole big wide world than right here, right now.
Why don't you take a break?
I can't. I'll get fired. I hate my job.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up employment. He's got the essentials down. So he smacks the cash register, causing the lights to go out. I guess we should go. Dazzle. Oh, another game with a Clinton joke. Now, at first I thought this was a game made by a time traveler since this came out in '96, but then I remembered he had other scandals, so not quite the anachronism I thought it was. Let's check the Thing store.
Do you enjoy working in here?
You do stuff like that and it'll stunt your growth. Uncle Jeb was only 32 centimeters tall at the age of 30.
Are you listening to me?
This here's a towaway zone. Pack up your bait box and hightail it.
You're no hope whatsoever. Goodbye.
These boots are made for walking.
And another game with crazy people with jobs. We're getting some recurring themes on the show.
Ah! Ugh, nothing scary.
And this part in particular, I would say is dead average for 90s adventure game puzzle difficulty. You have to shoplift from the store, but if you just grab something and walk out, the alarm goes off and the security guard boots you. So what you need to do is take the robot dogs, or at least I think they're robots, and combine them with the toy planes and fly them out. Then you need to do that 2 more times. Then the game mercifully does that for the rest of them automatically. Then you need to use the bolt cutters on the large plane, fly it out the store, then take them to go cut down the speaker in another store, then hook it up to the stereo system in the music store, and put on an album you stole of someone clapping his hands. That gets the dogs fired up, which upsets the real dog outside the mall, and the noise draws the security guard so you can use the fire extinguisher filled with paint. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. You had to do that back at the factory. But first you have to start a fire by setting a book on fire, causing the guard to run back and use the fire extinguisher. You know, people complain about yellow paint in games nowadays, but I'd be alright with it if it was more like this. And of course, any good puzzle ends with explosives. So yeah, this is 100% par for the course for 90s adventure games. It's not easy, you're unlikely to figure all this out, I didn't, but it's not completely insane either. There's some logic here, it's just kind of medium. Oh, and the explosion lodges part of the fire extinguisher in the guard's head, so now he's confused. But Kent offers to take him back to the trash den like a stray dog.
Well, we'll see what we can do. We don't normally like to have anything to do with his sort.
What?
Now go and complete the rest of your tasks.
What the hell is going on? Why are there fart noises? This is insane. What is that? It sounds like it's coming from the right. Is that the bouncing thing? It It wasn't doing that earlier.
Hurry, and the revolution could be happening tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I still can't move the camera to look around. Everything is locked. There's no escape from Fart Mania.
Bye, Kent. Good luck. We'll just hold the fort here for a while.
See you soon, boy. I wish I was coming with you.
Well, I'm glad you weren't.
Yeah, bye. Well, like I mentioned, the harpoon doesn't work on the TV station bouncer. Neither does picking up a turd and throwing it at him. Yeah, it's another one of those games. I feel like this isn't the first adventure game I've played that lets you do this, but I'm drawing a blank on another. I mean, that is Duke Nukem Forever's claim to fame, but that's an action game. And Kingdom Come Deliverance, but that's an RPG. And see, this is the game messing with you, because you can pick up the turd outside the TV station, but not the one back in your neighborhood, so they're practically daring you to throw this one at them, but then don't let you. Yeah, don't do that. You don't need to open this door in the first place, but if you do, you need to commit. Even if it's not the solution, I can't imagine a bouncer not reacting to that. No, instead you have to go back to your apartment, use a screwdriver you stole on your washing machine.
Yeah, this is heavy enough to smash the glass.
Yeah, just smash it open, who cares? Then put the rat in a box. Oh look, a notice! They found out you were playing hooky, so now you're wanted again. Well, at least you have a home back at the fart tank, Kent. Alright, here you go. Yeah, the puzzle logic in this game is getting rough again. Inside the TV station, I suspect some of these might be the developers.
Can I ask if you want to go out when this game is over?
My boyfriend won't like that.
Now forget about him. I'm more fun to be with.
My 7 feet tall bodybuilding boyfriend won't agree.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
Well, Kent has some game. He just needs to make sure any girly dates never ever comes back to his apartment. Here's the TV executive. Nobody would know who you are, but this guy is a natural for somebody cosplaying him. What's his belt buckle say? I can barely read it. Gee, ain't I great? He's like a Goomba that made it to the top. Oh, look at the talk show host. They've got 90s freak faces on full display.
Good grief, I think it's a fax machine, but it may be some complex artificially intelligent photocopier. Jeez, take me to your leader.
Yeah, I think Kent is the sort of person that might benefit from smoking weed.
Hey, stop staring at me. I'm not into guys. You're putting me off my work, weirdo.
Who are you calling weird? Well, we need to broadcast a video, but wait. Come on. Hello. Let me go. I'm stuck in the door. Oh no. Ah! Moving on, I get into the video control room, but need the password. And now we get to throw a turd at someone. Nyah!
What do you think you're doing, bozo? Well, you dirtied it, you clean it.
Alright, now we have a free shirt with shit smeared on it. We're moving up in the world.
I love success. It can transform a mediocre day into a golden-edged memory to pass on to subsequent generations.
That's right. And naturally, that gives us the password. Let's go. Yeah, look at them. Ironically, Kent is one of the more normal-looking people in the game. Well, we broadcast a music video to awaken the masses. It's by fellow Resistance member Brian Deluge, a glam rocker with some junk in the trunk. I guess let's talk about the music. Aside from this video, it seems to mostly fall into 3 categories. There's sort of the chill, jazz-ish music like at Kent's apartment or the mall. That's pretty good, it fits the game. There's music that's basically for a Saturday morning cartoon. This stuff is competent, but it gets old. I would have been happy getting rid of these tracks altogether. Finally, there's music like on the streets where it half has a beat and half sounds like someone is tripping over their instruments. I'm sure there are more games with this sort of thing, but 2 that come to mind are Boppin' and Earthbound. Those both have some tracks where it sounds like the song falls apart midway through it. That mood fits those games and 100% fits Normality. Though Normality's breakdowns I think are even a little more dramatic than those. This honestly borders on whether it's even music or not. So yeah, the music's good when it's not a kid's cartoon and is actually music. Back to the Resistance, they're happy to see me since I'm the only one doing anything. Besides farting. Somebody's doing plenty of that.
Do you think you might discover their secret soon? It seems a little sinister that no one knows exactly what they do.
And now they want me to infiltrate a maximum security holding facility to break out the twin brother of the oppressive leader. Yeah, see, that's Paul, and they want me to rescue Saul, who looks just like him. Because they think he'll know what the furniture gadgets are about, even though he's been locked up for 30 years and may have lost his mind. And to assist me, they refitted the uniform of the security guard with brain damage, so now Kent's dressed like an SS officer. It mostly involves me just screwing around in a lab, and that's a theme I've been noticing. Where we have our larger objectives, which kind of makes sense, but how we go about them feels completely aimless. Like there's an experiment going on some guy who doesn't seem to mind, really. So I let him go and he freaks out and wrecks everything, but the supervisor here doesn't react to this at all. So this is fine. Cool, so I guess we stuff him in the pneumatic tube, and I guess I'm done here. I mean, we can also wipe our prints and destroy evidence of our crimes, which normally I would be all for, but here I don't see how it matters. I mean, Kent was already a felon for breaking parole before he even joined the Resistance. Plus, they already know it's him. You can see his wanted poster when you first enter here. Finally, I think we're in a regime where evidence or guilt doesn't really matter. I mean, maybe that matters for lesser crimes, but Kent's an enemy of the state now. If the leader wants him in prison, then that's kind of the whole story. Oh, and this may not be obvious, but I'm genuinely impressed how many video cutscenes there are in this game. I imagine younger gamers don't even think about this, but it used to be cinematics were almost like dessert, because you could never fit that many on a CD, so developers had to really weigh where they doled them out. This game is absolutely above average for the quantity of cinematics you could expect at the time, so it's kind of a treat. Well, on the trail to where the pneumatic tube sent the body, we head into another elevator, and I think this sign means juggalos are illegal. An unfortunate but predictable future. And the elevator stops at some H.R. Giger designed lair. This took a tone shift. I find one of the secret body compartments, but uh-oh, I'm caught by Paul Nistelux himself.
You have screwed up in the most comprehensive manner, Norm.
He's acting totally evil, which I guess is menacing enough, but this is the first time we're seeing him, and we still don't have any context. Why is he the leader? Why does he have an evil regime? What's with his obsession of normality? What happened 40 years ago? Well, those are all questions to think about in prison since he throws me in the slammer. Actually, it's a lot worse than that. This is the worst part of the game by far. You have about a minute or so, then you're whisked away to the pods you were just at on the other side while you're brainwashed slowly. Then you're thrown back into a new prison cell that looks almost the same as the old one. Then it happens again. Brainwashed again, then a third cell. Then, you guessed it, brainwashed. Then the cycle starts all over. Now you can't fail this part, but you're on a timer and have to solve puzzles in all 3 segments. And if you run out of time, then you have to start all over until you loop back again. Unless you've already solved the segment. Then you just have to wait. You just have to sit in prison like the real thing. I don't need this simulated in a game. This part is getting too real for me. Ugh, I'm gonna get sick like this. Am I supposed to do something here? Who knows? Time's up. Back to prison. You aren't supposed to break the benches, since each of them contain the ominous gadgets. And you have to collect all of them before you can leave. But why? We already had access to plenty of them earlier. I feel like I'm missing so many pieces of the story here, and I'm not rushing. I'm looking for the answers. Oh god, Kent's brain is really getting scrambled. Either that or this is a bug. It's misery either way. Well, after getting all 3 gadgets, we have to communicate with Saul in the other tube. He wrote us a note, if I can read it. Oh, he wants me to grab a 4th gadget. Why? Well, we asked to be escorted to the bathroom and have to find the gadget since it's allegedly stashed here somewhere. No, Kent, it's not there. Kent, what the hell are you doing? Getting ready for a big date? Kent, that is nasty. What the hell's wrong with you? Kent's like a dog. He might have ended up in prison even without this regime. Okay, there's the gadget in the toilet. Then the guard takes us back and... No, come on, game, stop doing this to me. Back in the tubes. This is the worst distortion so far. Do they want me to puke? Oh, everything's on fire and the tubes are shattered. What? Well, that was fortuitous. You might think I cut some pivotal scene, but I swear I didn't. I'm as confused as you are. Alright, Dai is waiting for us in his window cleaning lift. Oh, shit! Whoa, what? What?
Leave me, Kent. I'm old. We got what we came for. Now go!
Oh, the noble death. Lame. Although to be fair, his name was Dai. Then bam, we're back at headquarters and everything's fine. But whoa. Let's back up. How the hell did Dai even get up there? It makes sense when he has a lift next to a flat vertical building. But look at this thing. It's at multiple angles. I have no idea how you would even get that up there without a crane. Does his lift fly? I do think we have a missed opportunity with Dai's death, though. I wanted some dialogue options here. I wanted his last moments alive to be of Kent hovering over him in an SS uniform, saying, "Sorry you're dying, but you're still wrong. There's no such thing as the sun." That would be the right note to end things on. Oh well, a fat old man flying up here is as close as we're gonna get to Santa in this game, and now he's dead. Back at the base, wow, this looks like something resembling a lab. So wait, the game's making it out like Heather is a scientist now. I assumed she was a homeless aerobics instructor.
He told us to go on without him.
No matter. He is our cause's first martyr. We must turn to Saul for our guidance now, while Brian composes our anthem of triumph and loss.
This is getting a little culty, but Saul does have some answers for us.
I created a terrible machine. A machine which sucks out people's ideas and free will and stores it for later inspection. From what Kent has told me, I would guess there is one of these gizmos in every piece of furniture in the city. People are drained as they sit at work or in front of the TV. The data then goes through one of the mood filters, like the one we were in, Kent. Then it is sent on to the mood magnet proper, a machine too complicated to recreate.
Oh, so this is basically the plot of Batman Forever. The devices in the furniture are draining everyone and siphoning off their thoughts, but it turns out if you have a piece of metal lodged in your body, you're immune. Hence why everyone here is unaffected. I guess what I'm confused on is in Batman Forever, all that information was getting absorbed by the Riddler. But here, it's going to the mood magnet. Okay, well then what? What's that do? Well, I don't get an answer, but now they want me to blow up a transformer station which will weaken the mood magnet or something. That's fine. I don't really need a reason to blow something up. Oh yeah, I wanted to come back to that. I don't think the game is going in this direction, but it could have. Remember that note at the beginning? That was probably from Saul, even though he was locked up, but that could have been a trap. That's one of the lessons of 1984, is to have avenues of resistance built into the system to catch the minority who would rebel. But since I'm being asked to blow up infrastructure and everyone involved is barely functional, this is sounding like the real deal. Another thought I've been having is I have to wonder how much the obsession with normality is the goal and how much of it is a diversion. I mean, this feels like a failing state. Kent's neighborhood is dilapidated. I've been talking over it, but when you're out on the street, you hear police sirens constantly. There was the strike at the factory earlier. The sky is polluted. The water is polluted. This is all coming apart. So if the state is failing and Paul doesn't know how to fix it, cracking down on abnormality is a way to get everyone focused on that instead. Or rather, it would be, except Paul actually does have mind control powers. So that changes the dynamic some. Ah, the TV store is open.
I've seen sad old men standing here watching these for hours.
Man, this game has good writing when it has context. Well, best I can tell, the only thing on TV is the news and monster truck rallies. Yeah, I could see that being enough for a lot of people.
Monster trucks again? Isn't there anything else to watch?
Kent would have liked MTV in the 90s. I like this wallpaper.
Can I buy one of your TVs, please?
If you must.
You don't seem very motivated, considering it's your job.
What's that got to do with it?
A pleasant sales manner makes a happy customer.
Why do I care about happy customers?
So they'll come into your dumb store again.
No one ever buys a second TV.
Suit yourself. Are you gonna sell me one or not?
Only if you show me your cash. Go away and let me watch TV.
Do you have a remote for this TV so I can try it out?
Why? It works. Can't you see that?
But I want to try the other channels.
What for? Oh, never mind.
Wow, this might be the most sci-fi aspect in the entire game. This sounds like a world without planned obsolescence. The salesman doesn't give a damn about anything since people just buy TVs once, then don't come back. Yet, he's still in business. Well, the intro did say this used to be a utopia before it went bad. Maybe there's still remnants of that. It makes me wonder how necessary jobs are. I mean, Ken has given no indicator he's employed. Maybe his apartment was provided by the state. I haven't seen one homeless person on the street. Maybe people have guaranteed housing. I mean, if your needs are getting met, you don't have to sell crap to infinity. But yeah, the concept of companies not designing things to break so they can resell you the same thing over and over feels more alien to me than anything else in this game. I could go on a rant on that, but the short version is planned obsolescence means we're never going to make it to the stars. We're still going to be back here picking up turds. Back to the game, the Transformer station was next to the TV store. We've got the executed teddy bear. Let's do this. Set it to detonate. Uh-oh, Kent's locked in. Clock's ticking, Kent. Time to die, Kent. Nah, he's fine since he's a cartoon. I can't say the same for anyone else, though. The seller was in the back when this happened. No way he's alive. Though there's probably not even a body left. Whoa, what's that? Okay, you might think that's the ghost of the store seller, but no. That's the anchor man from the news. And his ghost is in heaven now? I don't know. Not everything needs an answer. I think it's safe to call Kent a murderer at this point, though.
It's a Norm Trooper's truck. I reckon they have a prisoner in the back of it.
Ah, that's convenient. Well, let's gas him. That ought to do it. Oh, okay, they ran off. So Kent won't be upping his kill count. And inside is... What the hell? You died.
Hey, Di, great to see you. How are you?
A bit shaky, son.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I'm not complaining. I mean, I thought the noble death thing was stupid in the first place. It was a tired cliche even back when this game was made. But God knows how many games I've seen with it now. There's too many writers that just can't get enough of it. Though on the other hand, that shot didn't look like a joke. So it's a little unsatisfying seeing him bounce back from that unless he was laid up for months first. Well, as many radicals discover, it turns out blowing up the power station didn't solve all our problems. And Saul is starting to go crazy from having spent so much time in the brainwashing tank. But Heather here needs me to grab supplies so she can make a missile to blow up the Polutotron, which was the place we were just at apparently, where Di got shot. It's mostly just a long supply run. Some highlights are revisiting the mall. This place is so trash now. It was already a dying mall, but Kent plunged a sword into its feeble beating heart. It is pretty awesome that outside they have fireworks going off inside the skybox. You really get the impression they were leveraging the 3D engine as much as they could. Kent also triples down on being a cartoon by using an acetylene torch on a propane tank. Yeah, this is Looney Tunes. They would have to change the rating of the game to show this accurately. It would just be a red paste. Time to fire the missile! Man, this is a real homemade revolution, huh? Well, that's not a very big explosion, but the game feels like it's on the border of just making everything up now. So that's all it takes to clear up decades worth of atmospheric pollution. So bad news, Kent, the sun does exist.
I have a backup of my mind in my labs.
What?
It will be somewhere under the stadium. Someone must go and get it.
So I need to go under the stadium to find his backup brain? What does that even mean?
Oh, could you take Brian's guitar with you? He made it himself.
What?
He needs it smuggling onto the stage from beneath.
Why? So here we are at the stadium, but the guards won't let me in. But look, switches. What happens if we press the switch? The guards take off running. I swear, I'm not cutting anything here. I mean, what? Well, it wasn't a hard puzzle to solve exactly, but that's the logic I'm seeing in this game more and more. In the stadium, all your Confederates are in disguise, although the brain-damaged guard is less to work with. I'm still not clear on what the plan is, other than confront Paul. What's to stop him from just having a bunch of guards beat the crap out of us and haul us off? Now, I was going to complain that none of them are helping me, but they mostly have good excuses. He's brain damaged, he's been shot, the game kind of established he's a coward, and she's the remaining brains of the operation. So it really does have to be me. So on to the sewers. I mean, this is a 90s 3D game, so this is mandatory. It contains the usual. Alligators, rats, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turds, hallucinations. Yep, Yellow Submarine. Okay, I'm pretty sure at least one of the developers has taken LSD before. And in classic adventure game fashion, I have a hammer that is completely useless for this part. Oh, a hollow sounding wall. Of course you can't use a hammer. A few boards blocking you? Why would you use a hammer on that? Because the answer to everything is Brian's guitar. Yeah, smash down a wall with it. Smash another wall. Pry steel bars open with it. Adventure games. At first, I thought this was just Kent being a jackass again, and he kind of is, but listen to what he says after damaging it the first time.
I've slightly damaged it somehow. I don't think you'll notice.
Yeah, this somehow got scratched. So he's not trying to be a prick, he's just a frigging caveman that processes one thought at a time, then discovers the consequences of his actions after the fact. I've known people like Kent before. Well, we find the secret lab, find the backup brain, it hops into the protective suit, then off we go to the secret elevator to defeat Paul, I guess? I don't know what the hell we're doing. You know, I would be fine if this is how we defeat Paul. Just whoops, slipped on an elevator. The end. Well, that's not too far off. As I predicted, his thugs immediately grab Kent, but then the brain plops out onto the ground. Paul picks it up, Saul starts having a seizure, Paul starts to throw it like he's making a pass. Oh, but it's zapping him. Saul dies? Oh, huh. What? Oh, I get it. It's like the ending to Scanners.
It's me, Kim. Cameron. I'm here. We've won.
And I keep saying this, but I'm not cutting any pivotal scenes here. I feel like there was more story here, but the game had to get rushed out the door, and this is what we got instead. But to make up for it, we get a long cutscene where everybody starts dancing. Honestly, this isn't the worst way to end a game. Hey, it worked for Deus Ex. Even if the narrative is as whack-ass as everything else, I appreciate that they're making it feel like a good ending. And I think Kent comes from the Beavis and Butthead school of dance. I like Incarnated Saul's chicken dance in the background there too. So what to say about Normality? I feel like this was the second best I can hope for when diving into something old and obscure. I mentioned before, old games off the beaten path almost always have something wrong with them. The question is how much? So this being a solid experience from beginning to end was never an option. Outside of the prison sequence, because God I hated that part, I'd say the main things wrong with the game are that it has typical 90s adventure gameplay, which is sort of a sin in itself nowadays, and it just feels like too much was cut. It was also a little too goofy for my taste, but only a little bit. Everything else was solid. It felt fresh in a way many other games do not. It really just needed to be bigger and have more modern game design. And I mean that literally, since modern game design can be kind of a derogatory term these days. I just mean better controls, less bullshit puzzles and design, that sort of thing. That's the episode. Oh wait, we have a kicker. Oh, who is that? Did I see him earlier? You don't forget eyes like that. He kind of looks like a serial killer, but a fun one. Yeah, I appreciate endings that have a long burn and falling action to them. Once again, this game gets it. I hadn't thought of that. Kent has a party pad, since it can't be ruined. Oh, what's this? Something's happening. What's happening? The end. All right, Merry Christmas.